Gen Z scrolls past life hacks every day. But what if the smartest ones already existed before the internet? In the 1990s, people solved real problems with no smartphones, no apps, and zero online tutorials. So how were they doing things faster, cheaper, and sometimes smarter than we do now? Stuck zippers were the ultimate morning disaster. You're rushing to get ready, and suddenly your jacket refuses to zip. Or worse, it gets stuck halfway, leaving you trapped. But bathroom soap became the secret weapon that saved countless mornings. Regular bar soap worked like magic on stubborn zippers. You'd rub it along the metal teeth, and everything would glide smoothly again. Who knew that the same soap that cleaned your hands could also fix your clothes? This hack prevented expensive trips to repair shops. A 50-cent bar of soap could rescue more zippers than a $10 repair shop visit. It was like having a tailor who worked for soap money. Kids used this everywhere. Backpacks, pencil cases, winter coats, sleeping bags. Speed was everything with this trick. 2 quick swipes along the zipper track, and you were done. Candle wax worked too, but every house had soap. Not every house had candles just lying around waiting to become zipper medicine. Smooth zippers made mornings easier, but physical pain from sports and play needed different solutions. Sports injuries struck fast in the 90s. Twisted ankles, bumped heads, sore muscles after bike crashes. Store-bought ice packs were expensive and turned into rock-hard torture devices when frozen. They were basically frozen bricks that happened to be cold. But kitchen sponges and Ziploc bags created something better. A wet sponge sealed inside a plastic bag made the perfect flexible ice pack. The sponge absorbed water but stayed soft when frozen. The flexibility was revolutionary. Frozen peas worked okay, but were bumpy and got mushy. Plus, you'd eventually run out of peas and have nothing for dinner. Smart parents kept multiple versions in rotation, one in the freezer ready for emergencies, one thawing for lunch boxes, one currently treating a scraped knee. The economics were brutal for commercial ice pack companies. Their products cost $5 to $10 each. Sponges and bags cost maybe 50 cents total. You could outfit an entire sports team for less than buying one fancy gel pack. This hack saved money and provided better treatment than expensive alternatives. Flexible ice packs helped with injuries, but creative projects had their own frustrating moments. Broken crayons were every kid's nightmare. You'd press too hard during an important art project and snap. Your favorite color became 2 useless pieces. It was like losing half your artistic vocabulary in one moment. But creative teachers and parents discovered that broken didn't mean dead. Ovens transformed into crayon resurrection machines. Old muffin tins became molds. Broken crayon pieces got sorted by color and melted together at 200 degrees. The process fascinated everyone who watched. Solid crayons turned into liquid pools of color. Kids got more excited about making crayons than actually using them to draw. Teachers used this hack to stretch tight art budgets. Monthly crayon-making sessions became classroom events. It was like having a crayon factory that operated 1 day per month. The results were often superior to store-bought crayons. Homemade versions were thicker, so they broke less easily. The color combinations were completely unique. This hack taught valuable lessons about waste and creativity. Broken things could be fixed and often came back better than before. Melting worked great for art supplies, but some broken items needed more delicate repair methods. Losing a tiny screw from your glasses created instant panic. 1 second you could see clearly, the next second half, your vision disappeared. It was like someone dimmed half the world without warning, but office supplies and bread packaging provided emergency solutions. Paper clips became miniature repair kits. The thin wire threaded perfectly through screw holes. Twist ties from bread bags worked even better because they were designed to bend and hold. Who knew that bread packaging was secretly advanced eyeglass technology? Students mastered this hack out of necessity. They couldn't afford new glasses and couldn't function in class without them. It was like having your academic future depend on office supply engineering. The makeshift repairs were surprisingly durable. Sometimes they outlasted original screws. Fresh wire was flexible and strong, while old screw holes might be worn or stripped. Some people got creative with their wire wrapping. The key was having supplies available when disaster struck. This hack bought crucial time until professional repairs could be arranged. Clear vision helped with daily tasks, but wet weather could create entirely different problems. Soaked shoes were pure misery, cold, soggy, and smelly. They left wet footprints everywhere and made every step uncomfortable. Walking in wet shoes was like having personal rain clouds attached to your feet. But newspapers provided a brilliant solution that most people never considered. Newspaper was incredibly absorbent. The combination of ink and paper created millions of tiny spaces that pulled moisture right out of wet materials. Stuff shoes full of crumpled newspaper overnight and they'd be dry by morning. The process worked without heat or electricity. It was like having a shoe repair service that worked while you slept. Different newspaper types worked differently. Regular newsprint was perfect. Glossy magazine pages barely absorbed anything. Apparently, the fancier the printing, the worse it worked for shoe rescue. The technique was environmentally friendly, too. Yesterday's news became today's shoe salvation. The smell improvement was noticeable. Wet shoes trapped odors that bacteria loved. Newspapers eliminated the moisture that germs needed to multiply. Dry shoes made walking comfortable, but transporting large items required creative thinking. Moving large items without a truck was a constant challenge. Televisions, furniture, bicycles, anything too big for car interiors needed creative securing methods. It was like playing Tetris with real furniture and actual consequences, but pantyhose offered an unexpected solution. The stretchy material was perfect for trunk duty. Pantyhose could extend dramatically without breaking, then snap back to original length. They were strong enough for moderate loads, but gentle enough to protect car paint. The technique was surprisingly effective. The natural stretch provided constant tension without making your trunk look like it was in a wrestling match. Thrift store shoppers and garage sale hunters loved this hack. Emergency car repairs used pantyhose too. They could temporarily replace broken fan belts or secure loose parts. It was like having emergency automotive gear disguised as undergarments. The visual was definitely questionable. Cars driving with pantyhose-secured loads looked strange, but they arrived safely with undamaged cargo and scratch-free paint. This solution worked perfectly until bungee cords became common. Moving things was occasional work, but computer equipment needed regular maintenance. Computer keyboards in the 90s were built like tanks. Thick, heavy, with keys that clicked loudly and moved dramatically. But all that space between keys became a collection point for everything imaginable. It was like having a crumb museum attached to your computer. Crumbs, dust, pencil shavings, and mysterious particles accumulated constantly. Old toothbrushes were the perfect cleaning solution. The bristles were exactly the right size to fit between keys without causing damage. The cleaning technique required the right approach. Brush along key rows, flicking particles toward the gaps. It was like performing archaeology on your own workspace. Office workers discovered this hack out of desperation. School computer labs were perfect testing grounds. Without regular cleaning, they became historical records of every snack ever eaten near a computer. The bristle angle made a huge difference. Straight brushing pushed debris deeper into crevices. Angled brushing lifted particles up and out. Clean keyboards improved work efficiency, but kitchen tasks had their own messy challenges. Pouring liquids into narrow openings was always messy without proper equipment. Kitchen funnels were too small for garage work. Automotive funnels were too big for detailed tasks. It was like having shoes that were either too big or too small, but never just right. But plastic bottles solved this problem instantly. Cut the top off any soda or water bottle, and you had a custom funnel. The size was perfect for most applications. The shape directed flow precisely. The cutting technique affected performance. Straight cuts created basic funnels. Angled cuts produced pouring spouts that directed flow more precisely. It was like having engineering control over liquid physics. Car maintenance used this hack constantly. Kitchen applications were endless. The bottle funnel was clean, efficient, and cost exactly nothing extra. Different bottle sizes created different funnel capacities. 2-liter bottles made huge funnels for big jobs. Water bottles created precise funnels for detailed work. Science projects used this technique regularly. The disposable nature prevented cross-contamination between experiments. Perfect pouring solved kitchen problems, but bad smells could ruin any space. Bad smells lurked everywhere in 90s homes. Refrigerators, gym bags, closets, pet areas. Each location had its own odor challenges. It was like having invisible enemies that attacked through your nose. Commercial air fresheners were expensive and usually just masked problems instead of solving them. But baking soda offered real scientific solutions. The chemistry was elegant and effective. Baking soda is mildly alkaline, which neutralizes acidic odor molecules. Instead of covering smells with stronger scents, it eliminated them at the molecular level. It was like having a tiny chemistry lab that worked 24 hours a day. The homemade air freshener was simple to construct. Fill a small jar with baking soda, poke holes in the lid, and place it wherever odors were problematic. Parents deployed these strategically throughout houses. It was like having an invisible army fighting odors on multiple fronts. The cost comparison was devastating for commercial products. A box of baking soda cost about 50 cents and made multiple air fresheners. Commercial versions cost several dollars each. This hack proved that understanding basic chemistry could solve everyday problems better than expensive commercial alternatives. Fresh air improved daily life, but entertainment technology had its own unique maintenance needs. Scratch CDs were a death sentence for your favorite music. One tiny scratch could make your entire album skip like a broken record, but regular toothpaste, the white, non-gel kind, could actually save your discs. Toothpaste contains mild abrasives that are designed to polish teeth without damaging enamel. Those same gentle abrasives could fill in and smooth out shallow scratches on plastic CD surfaces. Apparently, your morning dental routine was secretly training you to be a disc repair technician. You dab a small amount of toothpaste on the scratched area, then gently rub it in straight lines from the center outward. Too much pressure would make things worse. This hack was basically performing microsurgery with bathroom supplies. The toothpaste filled in tiny gaps where the plastic had been damaged, creating a smooth surface that lasers could read again. Kids became experts at this technique out of necessity. When your favorite game cost $20 and you'd accidentally scratched it, toothpaste repair was cheaper than replacement. It turned every bathroom into a potential electronics repair shop. Libraries and video stores secretly used this trick to extend the life of their disc collections. Music playing perfectly was great, but mechanical problems with other things could be just as frustrating. Stripped screws were the ultimate frustration. The screw head was worn smooth, your screwdriver couldn't grip, and whatever you were trying to fix remained stubbornly broken. But a simple rubber band could provide the grip you needed. When you placed a rubber band over a stripped screw head and pressed your screwdriver through it, the rubber filled in the damaged grooves and created new friction points. It was like giving your screwdriver a better pair of shoes for gripping slippery surfaces. The technique worked on different types of strip damage. Phillips head screws that had become smooth circles responded well. This hack turned every household junk drawer into a hardware store. You didn't need special extraction tools or professional help. Just grab a rubber band and get back to work. The cost difference was staggering. Specialty screw extractors could cost $10 to $20 each. Thick bands provided more grip, but might not fit in tight spaces. Finding the perfect rubber band for the job was like matching the right key to a lock. It wasn't magic, but it felt close when you'd been struggling with the same screw for 20 minutes. Getting stubborn screws out was satisfying, but keeping food fresh was an everyday battle. Stale chips and cereal were the enemies of good snacking. Once air got into those bags, your food turned from crispy to chewy in a matter of days. Before fancy chip clips became common, wooden clothespins solved this problem perfectly. Clothespins were basically designed to grip things tightly, which made them perfect for more than just hanging laundry. They provided airtight seals that kept moisture out and freshness in. The versatility was impressive. Chip bags, cereal boxes with inner bags, bread loaves, frozen food packages. Clothespins worked on everything. They were like universal problem solvers that happened to cost pennies. The wooden ones worked better than plastic because they gripped more securely and didn't break under pressure. They lasted for years without breaking or losing their grip. Compare that to plastic clips that gave up after a few months, like quitters. Clothespins could seal multiple layers of packaging at once. Cereal bags inside boxes, chip bags folded over several times, even double-bagged items could be secured with a single clothespin. This hack proved that sometimes the best solutions were hiding in the laundry room all along. Fresh snacks were important, but clear entertainment was becoming essential too. VHS tapes started getting fuzzy and distorted after heavy use, but the problem wasn't always the tapes themselves. The video heads inside your VCR collected dust and debris that interfered with playback quality. Rubbing alcohol and cotton swabs could restore crystal clear pictures and sound. VCR heads were like tiny magnetic readers that needed to stay perfectly clean to do their job. When they got dirty, your favorite movies started looking like they were filmed through a dirty window. You'd power off the VCR, remove the top cover, and locate the spinning video head drum. Using a cotton swab barely dampened with rubbing alcohol, you gently clean the small metal heads. It was like performing delicate surgery on your entertainment system. Movies that had been unwatchable suddenly played perfectly. Audio that had been distorted became clear. The difference was like cleaning your glasses after walking through fog. Professional repair shops charged $20 to $30 for head cleaning services. A bottle of rubbing alcohol and a pack of cotton swabs cost maybe $3 total. The manual alcohol method was cheaper and more thorough than commercial head cleaning tapes. Perfect video was nice, but displaying your favorite things properly mattered just as much. Picture hanging wire always seemed to break at the worst possible moments. You'd finally get a frame positioned perfectly, and snap. The wire would give out and your picture would crash to the floor. Dental floss offered a stronger, nearly invisible alternative. Dental floss was engineered to survive aggressive tooth cleaning, which made it tougher than most picture-hanging wire. The thin profile made it practically invisible from the front of frames. You'd thread the floss through the frame's hanging hardware just like wire, but tie secure knots instead of relying on crimped connections. The weight capacity surprised most people. Dental floss could easily support lightweight to medium frames. It was like having a picture-hanging repair kit hiding in your bathroom cabinet. When your picture fell and the wire snapped, a quick floss replacement got it back on the wall immediately. The invisible factor was huge for decorators. Picture wire often created unsightly shadows behind frames. Dental floss disappeared completely. Even flavored floss worked just as well, though minty fresh artwork was probably unnecessary. Pictures stayed put with the right hanging method, but keeping everything else clean was another story. Ceiling fans, Venetian blinds, and car dashboards were dusting nightmares. Regular cleaning cloths couldn't navigate tight spaces or cover enough surface area efficiently. But old socks turned your hands into perfect dusting tools that could reach anywhere. Socks were basically custom-fitted cleaning gloves that happened to be free. The fabric texture trapped dust particles instead of just moving them around. Ceiling fan blades could be cleaned in seconds instead of minutes. You could grab both sides of each blade simultaneously, like giving your fan a two-handed high five. Car interiors responded especially well to sock dusting. Dashboard vents, console crevices, and door panel details all became accessible. Athletic socks with synthetic blends combined both properties like having superpowers for cleaning. The reusability factor made this hack environmentally friendly. Instead of buying disposable dusting products, you used socks that were already destined for the trash. Parents turned sock dusting into a game for kids. Children could help with cleaning while wearing their magic dusting gloves. This hack proved that the best cleaning tools might already be in your laundry basket. Clean surfaces looked great, but unexpected wardrobe problems could ruin your whole appearance. Lost buttons always happened at the worst times, right before important meetings, during dates, or when you were already running late. Safety pins provided instant fixes that could hold clothes together securely until proper repairs could be made. The engineering behind safety pins was perfect for emergency clothing repair. The spring mechanism created constant tension that prevented accidental opening. The trick was positioning the pins strategically to maintain the garment's appearance. For pants, positioning pins at stress points prevented fashion disasters from becoming wardrobe catastrophes. Different safety pin sizes match different clothing types. Small pins work for lightweight shirts and blouses. Large pins could secure coats and outerwear like temporary armor for your clothes. The temporary nature was actually an advantage. Unlike sewing on a replacement button, safety pin repairs could be removed instantly when proper buttons became available. Students mastered this technique out of pure necessity. School uniforms, job interviews, and social events couldn't wait for trips to tailors. This hack saved countless social situations and professional opportunities. Clothing fixes were temporary solutions, but losing important items created permanent headaches. Lost remote controls were the source of endless family arguments. Everyone knew the remote was somewhere in the living room, but actually finding it required archaeological excavation of couch cushions. Velcro strips offered a simple solution that kept remotes exactly where you needed them. The adhesive-backed Velcro system was like having designated parking spaces for your remote controls. One strip attached to the remote, the other to your coffee table or TV stand. TV stands, coffee table edges, and chair armrests all became potential remote control docking stations. Multiple remote households needed strategic Velcro placement for different controllers. Color-coded Velcro strips helped family members match remotes to their proper locations like a rainbow organization system. The holding power was adjustable based on Velcro strip size. Small strips provided light attachment for easy removal. Larger strips created stronger bonds. Children and elderly family members benefited most from this system. No more struggling to locate remotes or accidentally dropping them in unreachable places. A pack of Velcro strips cost less than $5 and could organize an entire entertainment center. Organization helped with efficiency, but summer heat could make any organized space unbearable. Air conditioning wasn't universal in the 90s, and electric bills could skyrocket during hot summer months, but a simple bowl of ice water placed in front of a box fan created an effective cooling system that cost almost nothing to operate. The physics behind this hack were basically recreating how swamp coolers work. As air passed over the ice water, it picked up moisture and dropped in temperature. Ice mixed with cold water maximized the cooling surface while maintaining low temperatures, like having the best of both worlds in one bowl. Room size determined effectiveness. Small bedrooms and dorm rooms responded dramatically to ice fan cooling. Metal containers conducted heat better than plastic, improving cooling efficiency like having a turbo boost for your ice. Nighttime cooling was especially effective. Bedroom temperatures could drop enough to improve sleep quality significantly. College students and apartment dwellers became masters of ice fan cooling. Limited budgets and often inadequate building cooling systems made this hack essential for summer survival. Staying cool helped with comfort, but looking presentable required tackling wrinkled clothes too. Not everyone owned an iron, and not every living situation included access to proper ironing equipment, but a damp towel and any heated flat surface could remove wrinkles from clothes in emergency situations. The steam principle was identical to professional ironing. Moisture combined with heat relaxed fabric fibers and allowed wrinkles to smooth out. The technique required careful temperature control. Too little heat wouldn't relax the fibers enough to remove existing creases. Cotton shirts and pants worked exceptionally well with this method. Synthetic materials required lower temperatures, but often showed dramatic improvement, like getting a complete makeover. Travelers and students became experts at improvised ironing. Hotel rooms, dorm rooms, and apartments often lacked proper ironing equipment. A damp towel and a hair straightener could handle most wrinkle emergencies when traditional methods weren't available. Gentle, consistent pressure worked better than aggressive pressing. Moving the heat source slowly across the damp towel allowed steam to penetrate fabric layers. The satisfaction of smooth clothes without proper equipment was surprisingly high. This hack proved that resourcefulness could overcome almost any household challenge. These 20 solutions showed that the best answers often came from combining basic science with whatever was already sitting around your house.